Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at this 2017 model Ford Mustang. It's got the 2.3 litre turbo engine. We're going to be reviewing it with the context of a brand new car. It's only got 20,000 miles on it. So let's get into it. Come on. Alright, let's go for a drive. It's very comfy to sit in. Obviously you got all those infinite adjustments on the seats, which are air conditioned by the way as well. Bit of a gimmick, I know, might not work forever, but it works at the moment and makes it a little bit more comfortable. It's a really good car to drive around town even. It doesn't feel like a big car. It feels really comfortable and responsive to drive. It feels nice and sturdy. The steering wheel's really good to hold. And of course those 300 horses under the bonnet make it nice and punchy for if you need to change lanes. Or chop someone at the lights. Visibility is actually pretty good. It's got nice skinny pillars at the front and in the middle. The only issue is the back, because it's a soft top. It's got that rather large pillar and a smaller window. I think a hard top would be really good to see out of. Obviously when the top's down and the soft top, no dramas. So with the top down, got a lot more vision. Pretty much infinite vision all around you now. And it's not too noisy. Certainly makes you look cool. Let's have a look at the body. It's a nice shape to the body. They've kind of made it look classic. I'm not sure that's going to be a timeless design, because you know, sometimes when they make cars look classic, by the time the next model comes out they're very dated, but I guess we'll have to see. It's nice lines along the body. The body fit of the car is terrible. It's got these really tight gaps. This door is so tight in fact that it snagged part of the seal here and ripped it off the body. So yeah, that's really not what you want on a new car, is it? Doors are bolted on, so you can adjust them later when the hinges sag, which is cool. So the seats are powered in every way imaginable. Backwards, forwards, tilt at the back, tilt at the front, straight up, straight down, and every combination in between. As well as that, you get this Reebok pump type button here that adjusts your lumbar. And it moves the heat. When you're sitting in the chair, it feels like it's going to push you through the windscreen. It's got just oodles of adjustment every way you can think of in the seat. It's got a quick release to get in the back, like that. So yeah, also comes with the cost of a lot of extra weight obviously. But anyway, it's all a black leather. It's nice and cushy where you rest your elbows. The seats are really comfortable. They're nice sports buckets. All leather, obviously. Simulated leather on the dash. What I really like about it too is there's lots of airbags in the car, but they don't advertise it. There's no SRS airbag plastered and everything. Here's the back seat, more buckets. So again, really comfortable. Not the most amount of room in the back. If you have normal sized people in the front, you could fit some adults in the back, but if they're tallish people in the front, you're probably going to have to sit cross-legged. Failing that, it's a good place to put your handbag and the latest copy of Mary Claire. They've managed really good space optimization in the car. You get little cubbies everywhere. Nice little humidor style drawer here. You could put your cigars in, or a celery stick, or hey, even if you're going on vacation, you could take your bedroom toy. Little pockets in the doors, traditionally matte pockets. Now this one I like. You don't just take advantage of this space here, but they've used the space up inside the door. You can go half an arm deep up in there, so you could fit an umbrella up in there, or in the glove box. It's a fairly modest glove box. It's probably only room for about 11 Nintendo 64 cartridges. That's about it. It does come with a paperclip. I don't know if that's factory issued or if someone else has left that behind, but either way, if your one doesn't, be disappointed. You also get a rear view camera for reverse, which has an on-screen graphic for where the car is going to turn, so you can sort of aim it in the right direction. Pretty useful. Alright, let's have a look in the trunk. Now the first thing you notice when you grab the trunk is you've got to lift it by pulling on the plastic garnish, which is only attached to the outside. The car's almost new and it already rattles and creaks, so that's definitely going to cause a problem later on. Probably going to at least want to put that on with some Sikaflex. If you're the kind of person that has a Stezza in the car with a subby or something, it's going to rattle. Other than that, the interior of the boot is trimmed off very nice. It's all neat and tidy. The cables and wires are neat and tidy out of the way. It's pretty spacious except up towards the seat, where you have this drop down parcel shelf thanks to the fold down roof. Other than that, it's really nice trunk. It's got a courtesy light and everything. Let's have a look at the spare tyre. Oh yep, so it is a space saver wheel, but it is a mag wheel, so that's cool. At least it doesn't fall into the category of a new car that just has a pump and a tube of goo, so that's cool. As far as boot space goes, you can probably fit about 37 frozen turkeys in there, so that's always a plus. As far as the hinge mechanism goes, it's pretty basic. It's really just a bit of flat bar, but it works. It's got a gas strut to hold it up. The finish of the panels is really nice and clean, no sharp edges, nice and spacious, nice finish. I really don't like how the tail lights overlap it though. It's going to tend to collect rubbish and dirt and maybe promote rust later in life. Mechanically, you get an independent rear end finally, which is great. You get cross bracing there as well, which is cool. Nice mag wheels, 18 inch, quite attractive looking, and of course 4-wheel discs. The brakes do leave a bit to be desired, even with those massive front calipers. They just don't seem to have enough bite, especially for a sports car. Maybe they just need a high carbon rotor and high friction pad upgrade or something. Alright, so let's check out what's under the hood. Alright, so there she is, the 2.3 litre EcoBoost, inline 4, intercooled turbo, drive-by-wire throttle body. Engine bay set out pretty well, which you'd expect. It's a big car, it's got a big engine bay. Factory strut bracing, part of the body. Airbox, easy to get, easy to change the filter. Coolant header tanks right here, nice and visible, easy to physically check it, top it up. I've got a Garrett turbo down there. It's all pretty open, be nice and easy to work on. Dump pipe, you can fully see it. There's no real shielding around the dump pipe. But yeah, so anyway, let's take a closer look at it. Here's the front of the engine. 2 dry belts. You can see the crank trigger down there. It's all fairly easy to get to, belts will be easy to change. There's our turbo. Down this side there's a lot less to see. Look, there's our intake manifold. Steering column. ABS pumps up here. And VCT solenoids at the back there. There's our ECU in the engine bay. Not something I particularly like for heat and vibration, but anyway, that's where it is. Batteries hidden away fairly well. So yeah, not a bad set out engine bay. It's got a little front mounted intercooler. It is a fairly small one. You can see it in there, fairly low mount. Probably susceptible to getting clouded with things. If you bottomed out at the front, probably gagging for an upgrade. Plenty of room in there for one. So anywho, alright, let's continue on. So for the roof, you just turn this little locking handle here and then push the button. Windows wind down and there she goes. Tucks up pretty nice into the back here. You can see all the mechanism. It's pretty typical of a drop top, but folds up nice. And at the front, of course, you're just left with a clean windscreen surround and A-pillars. So here's something you guys need to see. I'll just show you what happens once you've had the roof down and when you put it back up. Before the roof folds down, it winds both the front and the rear windows down. But when the rear windows wind up, they don't wind up to the right place. I'll show you what I mean. That's the back wound up. And now the front. See that gap? Look at that. It's like an inch gap at the top there. Let me give you a Wayne's World close-up. See that? Look. You can finger bang that gap. So that ain't right. Water's just going to pour in there, or trolls. So what you have to do every time you've had the top down, or wind this window up and down, you have to grab it and pull it forward like that. So it sits right. Now let me just remind you that this is basically a brand new car. It's only got 20,000 miles on it. That window can't have been up and down that many times. And both sides are the same. You've got to do the old grab and pull before you get back in your car. But don't pull it too far, because there's glass on glass. Now we've got to push it back a bit. There we go. Now it's allowed to rain. So here's how she drives at night. Everything's nice and visible. Gauges are well lit up. The setting on the control unit, I've just got it set to climate control. It's nice and easy to read. The thing I don't like is, of course, the warning portion of the gauge, or the red line, is in the same colour as the dash, which you can change, by the way, if you go into settings. My colour, gauge colour, you can change the gauge colours: white, green, purple, blue, orange, red, or you can set up your own colours. You can also change the ambient colour of some of the highlights in the car, like the backlit handles, cup holders, so that's pretty cool. Visibility out of the car at night is good. I'm on the highway obviously, so I really haven't tested the high beams yet. We'll get into that later. But as far as just driving along the freeway at night goes, it's good. So the car's really comfortable to drive. The seats are nice and comfy. You've got infinite adjustability on the seats: up, down, forward, back, tilt, twist, whatever. You've got enough lumbar to push you through the windscreen. The steering wheel's really nice to hold. They've kind of done a design that's reminiscent of a old school sports steering wheel, the tri-spoke metal wheel. Unfortunately, it's got too much garbage on it. It's got controls for the radio, controls to adjust the dash colours and all the settings of the car, cruise control, phone control. All that stuff needs turfing out. All it needs is the paddles. All those controls are readily accessible anyway. You don't need them here on the steering wheel, right where you look, 24 sevs. Anyway, what are you going to do? Engineers know better than the user. They've really made the best of the interior space utilisation as well. You got two cup holders right here. This one's probably big enough for a Tawley. This one's big enough for your 600ml of Diet Coke. Plus you got your armrest cubby there, plenty of room in there. There's also a USB charge port. You get a little cubby down here in front of the shifter. It's got the USB input for the entertainment system, as well as a little cubby for you to put your fountain pen. The stalks work flawlessly. The indicators latch well. You can also bump indicate if you want. Gives you 3 flashes if you just tap it, which is pretty popular these days. So let's get to the nitty gritty. Engine, really good. It's got lots of gumption. It's got a nice turbo whistle. It's economical because it's a 4, and it's got torque for days. It's more than you could ever want. It's great, really good power. So for engine, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Really, really good. Transmission's fantastic as well. It's always in the right gear. It knows what you want to do. If you're not happy with that, you can put it up into sports mode and it'll hold those gears longer, or you can use the paddles if you want. So transmission's fantastic as well. 4.5 out of 5. Build quality of the car leaves a bit to be desired. We've got this problem with the windows, which is only going to be a problem in the soft top. And let's face it, you're not going to buy a soft top unless you're a douchebag. So it's going to be fine. Body fit is an issue as well. Could be better. You might just need to adjust the panels when you buy the car, take it to a body shop or something. Something that you really shouldn't have to do, but hey, what are you going to do? The car's full of electronics, which is all fine and dandy now while they're all work. She's got air conditioning and heated seats. You can pick the colour of the interior, mood lighting. You can pick the colour of the dash instruments. You can even mix your own colours. It's got a Mustang sign that opens up with the door, shines on the ground. Kind of reminds me of when you buy a new TV and you got to go through all the settings. Well, how long does a TV last? They last between 5 and 10 years. And a TV isn't hurtling down the road on stiff suspension, vibrating and parked in the sun under glass all day. So I'm not sure how long a TV would last under those conditions. Make up your own mind in regards to the gadgets. I personally don't love gadgets. I like to keep it simple. I like the longevity of knowing that things are mechanical instead of digital. Hey, some people, that's why they buy a car. So build quality, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. On the outside it looks good, but it could be better. So overall guys, I really like the car. It doesn't feel like a big car, it responds like a small car. The suspension's good, it's not too stiff, it's not too soggy. The engine's great, it's got plenty of curry. Overall I rate the car 4 out of 5. So that's it guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Nev Reviews. Please keep liking, sharing and subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Sharkers.